Welcome back to English with Jack. On this channel, I aim to help you bridge the gap between textbook English and the real world, giving you the tools to communicate with true fluency. Today, we are going to listen to a story titled The Hesitant Director. This narrative is designed to help you understand the specific idiom to miss the boat, which is essential for describing lost opportunities. By following the characters in this situation, you will learn exactly when and how to use this phrase correctly. Rupert sat behind his large mahogany desk in the center of London, staring out at the grey skyline. As the director of a traditional publishing house, he prided himself on making careful, calculated decisions. He did not like to rush. He believed that good things came to those who waited. However, the publishing world was changing rapidly, and digital media was becoming king. Standing opposite him was Rachel, his head of marketing. She was holding a tablet computer and looked rather anxious. She had just pitched a bold new idea to partner with a popular audio streaming platform. It was a massive opportunity to modernize their catalogue. "Rupert, we have to move on this now," Rachel insisted, tapping the screen. "The platform is looking for an exclusive partner by Monday. If we sign the preliminary agreement today, we secure the slot." Rupert frowned and adjusted his glasses. He looked at the digital contract and then back at his wall of leather-bound books. To him, audiobooks felt like a passing trend, something that lacked the dignity of printed paper. He picked up his fountain pen but did not sign. "I don't like being pressured by deadlines, Rachel," he said softly. "I need to consult with the finance department and review our quarterly projections before committing to something this expensive." Rachel sighed and shifted her weight from one foot to the other. She knew the finance team was notoriously slow. "But Rupert, the competitors are already circling," she warned. "If we delay, we might lose the advantage." Rupert waved his hand dismissively. He told her to organize a meeting for the following Tuesday. In his mind, a few days would make no difference. He believed the opportunity would wait for him. Rupert spent a quiet weekend at his holiday cottage in the Cotswolds, feeling quite satisfied with his measured approach to business. He took long walks in the countryside and convinced himself that rushing into digital contracts was foolish. In his experience, vendors were always desperate for a deal, and the streaming platform would surely be grateful for his signature whenever he chose to provide it. By the time Tuesday morning arrived, he had decided to go ahead with the partnership, but strictly on his own terms. He straightened his tie in the lift mirror and marched into the office, ready to show his staff how a proper director managed negotiations. He asked his assistant to bring tea and biscuits to the boardroom and requested Rachel's presence immediately. When Rachel entered the room, she did not have her usual energetic stride. She looked pale and defeated. She was not holding the contract anymore. Instead, she was clutching her mobile phone tightly. Rupert smiled benevolently and gestured for her to sit down. "Good news, Rachel," he announced, opening his leather folder. "I have reviewed the figures over the weekend. The finance team has given a tentative green light, so I am prepared to sign the initial agreement today." He picked up his pen with a flourish, expecting her to look relieved. However, Rachel remained silent. She stared at the mahogany table, refusing to make eye contact. The silence in the room grew heavy and uncomfortable.
"It is too late, Rupert," Rachel finally said, her voice quiet and flat. Rupert paused, his pen hovering over the paper. He chuckled nervously, thinking she was making a bad joke. "What do you mean?" he asked. Rachel unlocked her mobile phone and slid it across the table towards him. On the screen was a press release from that morning. A rival publishing house, known for their aggressive tactics, had announced an exclusive long-term partnership with the streaming platform. They had finalized the deal late on Monday night while Rupert was driving back from the countryside. "They wanted a partner by Monday," Rachel reminded him. "We hesitated, and the competition stepped in." Rupert stared at the screen, reading the headline over and over again. The opportunity he thought was safely in his pocket had completely vanished.
Rupert slumped back in his leather chair, feeling suddenly very old and out of touch. The headline on the screen seemed to mock him. He had assumed that his company's reputation and history would grant him special privileges. But the market did not care about history. It cared about speed and innovation. Rachel put her phone back in her pocket and looked out of the window, unable to hide her frustration. She had worked for months to cultivate that relationship, and it had been destroyed in a single weekend of indecision. The silence in the boardroom was no longer heavy, it was hollow. "I suppose there is no way to counter-offer?" Rupert asked weakly, though he already knew the answer. Rachel shook her head. "No. The contract is exclusive. They have locked up the market for the next 3 years. We effectively handed our biggest competitor a monopoly on audio streaming." Rupert took off his glasses and rubbed his tired eyes. He finally understood the gravity of his mistake. By waiting for the perfect moment to sign, he had allowed the moment to pass entirely. He looked at Rachel with a genuine apology in his eyes. "I am sorry, Rachel," he admitted. "I thought I was being prudent, but I was just being slow. We really missed the boat on this one, didn't we?" From that day forward, the atmosphere in the office changed. The loss of the deal was a significant blow to their annual turnover, and they had to work twice as hard to catch up with the trends they had ignored. However, the failure taught Rupert a valuable lesson. He realized that while caution is a virtue, hesitation is a liability. He learned to trust Rachel's instincts and started to embrace digital changes much faster. He never again let a weekend get in the way of a vital signature, ensuring that the next time a ship came in, he would be standing on the dock, ready to board. That brings us to the end of our story. We saw how Rupert's hesitation and desire for a quiet weekend caused him to lose a massive business opportunity, much to Rachel's disappointment. Notice how we used the idiom "miss the boat" specifically to describe a situation where it is too late to take advantage of an opportunity because you waited too long. It is a very common phrase in British business culture when discussing timing and deadlines. If you found this lesson helpful and want to improve your English fluency further, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next lesson.